pretty much there's nobody in the ecosystem that doesn't know Prashant and the work that Ease My Trip is doing. But I was surprised when I first met him how humble and approachable he was. And more than that, what really took me by surprise was the amount of startups and ventures he tried to build before they landed up on the Ease My Trip idea. And even today, him again going back to the trenches and trying his hand at yet another startup. So you really inspired me and a lot of us here. So welcome to Ichai's Startup Social on a Saturday.
Now it's working. Yeah, thank you for having me over here. Hello guys, I'm Prashant. Nice to meet you all.
So I want to get into the fireside chat and try to understand what was your time at IIT Madras like. I know there's a lot of gaming, but besides gaming, what else were you
gaming for me.
No?
No gaming for me. I was actually barely at IIT Madras. Even though I studied from over there, I mostly was in Bangalore. While I was studying at IIT Madras.
Elaborate?
My girlfriend, then girlfriend, was 3 years senior to me. So she got a job in Bangalore. So that's why I was mostly there. I went to IIT Madras just to write my exams. Most of the time. So in fact,
So you're a full-time boyfriend and part-time student.
Correct. Actually, I was living off her, on her expenses. My first house. I mean, I'm happy to keep this very candid. So no recording guys. So my first house, my girlfriend's first house was just here. I was living in Kolmangla area only. So this whole area is very nostalgic for me at the moment.
Oh damn! Which was your Sutta spot? Still.
Yes. So most of the time I was in Bangalore. So the times which I remember of IIT Madras was only either during the exam times or when we would have inter-IIT matches or intra-hostel matches. So I used to be a sports person. Those are the days, those are the times when I would go back and
so how did you spend your time, if you could elaborate, the 4 years of engineering? That's very unusual.
I was an accidental engineer. I never wanted to, in fact not even wanted to, I did not even know what IIT was till my 11th grade. I had no idea what IIT was till 11th grade. In fact what happened was, one day I was playing,
I wish I was there and I did not hear the IIT pitch.
I had seriously zero idea about IIT, and what happened was a few of us were playing and two seniors, they were just talking, among themselves, talking about IIT, कि इसको तो admission होता ही नहीं है, इतने अटेम्प्ट दिए मेरा भी नहीं हुआ, बोला भैया ये क्या होता है? एक तेरे मतलब का नहीं है जा, तो मैं and then I went back and I bought some magazines to understand what IIT is, and that's how I got to know about it. So it was very accidental for me to, found about it and then just went obsessed for next 1.5 years to get into it.
And then when you joined in, you just laid back.
I laid back. I laid back badly, and I barely stumbled past through. People at IIT barely know me because I was mostly in Bangalore. As I said, that the girlfriend was 3 years senior to me, so she graduated from IIT Madras. हम तो उसके साथ साथ यहाँ पे आ गया. This is how it was.
You have the graduation certificate or you have the boyfriend. Okay, but this came across very surprised because you were all smiles in that convocation speech that I saw. And I thought you were actually putting the effort. The professor's name, everything.
Yeah. So some professors and I remained in touch. That was also very surprising to me. In fact, when I came back, my first job was in the US. There was a company called as Capital One. They used to come. And Capital One goes only to IITs and IIMs. And among 3,000 students who apply for that job, they usually take 4 or 5. So after 26 rounds of fooling around, I managed to convince them that I deserve a spot. And
26 now.
3 days. 3 days of all that.
I'm just curious because just need a name tag and then have a seat. You were against US when you were studying. Like I don't want to go abroad.
Yes.
What made you slog through 26 rounds? Or was it just the challenge?
Again, I think most of the good things which have happened to me are mostly accidental. So all throughout my college, whatever time I was over there, I would push people not to write GRE, which is not to go abroad. I think I started the word entrepreneurship in the campus. I must have been the one. It's a French word, right? But entrepreneurship word hota hai. Let's do something of our own for the country. Right? And everybody like, yeah, we padne de. In IT Madras, we used to call it Magga Marne de. Magga Marne de padne de. Any from IT Madras? Anyone? Over here? No.
Yeah.
So,
here we say chill mari.
Chill mari. यहाँ पे chill mari होता है. यहाँ पे Magga Marne de. नहीं, chill का उल्टा है बिल्कुल. पढ़ाई करना.
Oh, Magga is like bugging. Oh,
bugging. So, yes, it wasn't expected that I would sit for this interview, which I was also not planning to. But my friends told me that क्या ही होने वाला है. They barely will take one or two from entire campus. So you might as well just at least understand what the interview process is. And I think the reason why I got that job was because I was so nonchalant about it. I didn't care. In fact, I even remember the interview which probably got me in. I don't remember the question. It was mostly related to analytics. But there was a case study which was given to me. And I said that this case study itself is wrong. Rather than finding a solution, I think this case study is wrong. And they said that they've been using for the last 10 years. The same case study goes to all IIT and IIM, people always solve it. And I gave them the logical reason why this case study itself does not make sense. So I remember him going out, this was a glass window, and he calling a couple of other people.
You could see through.
I could see through that they're having a discussion. He comes back, he opens the door and he shows me thumbs up. And he goes, क्या ही करेंगे? जो 10 साल से use तेरा question ही गलत था.
Or maybe it was a trick question, you never know.
I don't know. In fact, I did meet one of the interviewers later on. At the campus. Capital One is a huge campus. They have about 10,000 people over there. And in the campus, while being the person who was standing next to me, I said hi to him. Like, sir, you interviewed me in one of those rounds. Like, yeah, I remember you very clearly. Like, okay, how, what, why? He's like, we had a huge debate about you. So I studied Hindi medium. I come from a very humble background. And मुझे तो IIT में इंग्लिश के बारे में पता चला. इससे पहले मेरे को इंग्लिश के बारे में मुझे पता. वहीं पे मुझे किसी ने बोला है नॉवेल्स पढ़ना शुरू कर दे. Watch English movies. You'll get some hang of it. And I'm still learning, as you guys can tell. But back then I was even bad. Now this guy said that Prashant, your case was very extraordinary because your analytical abilities were so superior that despite your communication skills, we had to hire you. To take somebody from US who doesn't speak much English, it was so exceptional that we had to hire you despite your communication abilities. So I believe, if few of us get that kind of, validation from the external world, and those validations which are undeniable in nature, where this thing happened to you, and then whatever wrong keeps happening. As you already know, I've had a couple of startups which didn't work out, but I never lost faith in myself. I always had this faith in myself that the world is just there to see. One day I will perform, and that day may take time. It may come now, it may come later. So, but the failures which I went through only taught me a lot, but it never ever discouraged me. In fact, in a couple of startups I've had my co-founders from IIT and Einstein. I don't think so there is any founder in 3 startups which did not work for me. I've always had a co-founder. None of those co-founders are entrepreneur right now. They all have caved back to a really good cushy job. And which is what I think, my perception now of the world is, that when dealt with a failure, people usually go back to their safe place. And yes, you can do that. I'm not complaining about their life. In fact, they live a wonderful life. But have they found their true potential? Is what I would doubt. Have they found their true potential? Is what I think that they were much more capable than I am. I was just more persistent.
I'm just curious, you have like this Kanye West or Virat Kohli like self-faith or self-belief. I'm guessing, but is it your mom that's driving all of this? Self-faith in you while you're growing up? And then I'm going to jump back and start with
That's a very deep psychology question. I don't know. I mean, we all have childhood trauma is what I heard. I don't know if self-faith also comes from upbringing, but probably does. I don't know. I can't pinpoint any particular event except for a few things which I've told you. Like, despite not going to IIT, I still got good marks. And just got this job, and then afterwards the kind of self-affirmation which I got, the information which I got from other people made me believe that I'm destined to do good things, and even if it doesn't work out a couple of times, it doesn't matter.
I heard in one of the interviews you mentioning to someone, your boss mentioning to you back in the US that how critical you were every day, how hard it was at HSBC.
Yes. So it wasn't my boss, it was my colleague. But yes, so, and now I don't remember any of it, but I met one of my colleagues, his name is Amit Patwardhan, about 5-6 years ago. Again, he's working in one of the banks in the US. And see, memory.
I like how you named him but not the bank. Just like, go on please.
I mean, bank is a brand, he's a friend.
A bank you can't bank upon.
Yeah, bank is something, I don't know. Someone says that, hey, how are you talking banking about a brand? I've had weird things happen to me whenever I go and talk. The weirdest thing, very off topic, but weirdest thing happened to me about 10 days ago. I did my talk somewhere, and afterwards, I was just walking my way down to the exit. A girl, just jumps in between me and the way, and she's like blocking my way. I'm like, okay, and she's like, you offended me. I'm like, I don't care. I was just trying to slip away.
You offended her again.
In life, you will end up offending so many people, right? Like, I didn't want to know. I didn't have the mental space to know what happened with her. And she's like, no, you gotta listen so that you don't repeat the mistake. Like, if you're so insistent, go ahead. If it makes you feel better. And she's like, you used he, she, but you did not use they. And I identify as a they. And then I like, now you can block me as well. And still move past. Anyways, what were we talking about? Oh, the Amit Patwardhan. And
yes.
The bank.
And the bank.
And the bank. The unknown bank. Yeah, I mean, so we met and I was in that, and memory does not serve you right. Please understand that every time you think about the past, you have very low recollections about the bad times which were happening, but almost the good times. That is why we all like our exes, right? You don't remember all the troubled times, but you remember the good things. So I asked Amit, how was I at office? Because I remember the best time, not when I'm doing, not while having a startup, right? Startup is gruesome. And my memory still tells me that the 4 years I spent in US were one of the best times. That's how memory tells me. But he was telling me that I was miserable all throughout. I was always scribbling. I hated the bureaucracy. I hated the culture. I hated that I could do more. I was always limited to my role. I wanted to grow beyond my role. I wanted to do something in credit also. I wanted to do this as well. Like, you should be talking about me. Like, yeah, you hated it. You always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And for 2 years, while he and I worked together, he thought that I was totally not in my place.
Yeah, you come across as a rebel, as an impatient person, which is, that's the irony of your journey. One side, you're such a rebellious, impatient person. On the other side, when I see East My Trip from 2008 to 2014, I'm like, it doesn't match because you've been persistent every single day slogging and not getting that growth spurt. And what you're saying,
There's a very simple logical understanding around that, right? You have to be impatient with your actions, but patient with your results.
give me an example going back then.
It's very simple. When you sow a seed, it takes time to germinate. You have to sow the right seeds. You have to keep sowing the seeds. So you have to be impatient on the action. You can't be like, okay, and again, I'm pretty sure I offend some people in my conversations as well. So please don't talk me later on. I'm a
They can ignore this conversation. Go on.
So
I believe that there are some people who are very ambitious and who are destined to do some great things, and for those people, work-life balance should not matter.
Do you consider yourself one among them?
I consider I am decent enough to leave a mark. Yeah, I do consider that. So, and see, basically, Eastmart is a listed company. Me and my family, we own almost 70% of the stock. Market cap is 9,000 crores. And a lot of my friends say that, what's the point? Why are you hustling again? I've recently started with the company. And a lot of my friends assume that, you must be stupid, right? But you already hurt yourself so many times. It was a hard, Eastmart has always been bootstrapped. We never raised any capital. The only money which went inside Eastmart till today is 15 lakh rupees. That's the only money.
That deserves a huge round of applause. 15 lakh rupees and years of slogging, but yes.
So, you would find three of us, me, Nishant, Trikant, in office for 60 to 18 hours every day. Saturdays, Sundays, all days were like literally forgone. Families needed to adjust because all three of us, we lived together, we used to go office together, we used to come together. I think the only time when I started, or at least all three of us started giving a little bit slack to ourselves was when our profit after tax grew beyond 20 crores. So Eastmart has been profitable from
Wait, how many years into the business was that?
That was about 13 years ago.
13 years later?
13 years.
Okay.
13 years later, when we got almost 20-30 crores profit on an annual basis, then is when we decided that we can probably hire some senior management who can basically, to whom we can delegate our responsibilities. So our CXO started happening from year 2019 onwards. 2019 onwards. Before there was no CXO in the company, but now we have about 11 CXOs. And I actually came up with a mathematical formula, which is that if you can find the management who can replace you by spending 37.7% of your profit, then it is worth it to have the management, and otherwise do it yourself. So there is a very beautiful formula.
By Prashant Vicky.
I mean, yeah. If you can hire people, let's say if you are making 2 crore profit, right? And 2 crore profit multiplied by 37% is somewhere about what? 70 odd lakhs, right? 70 to 70 lakh. Now 70 lakhs you can't find a management who can replace as simple as that. So hence you need to wait to get there. You can find a management to replace, while you can consume 37% of your profit and replace you and hence give you some time. So yeah, that's what we live for. And once we got there, we got a little bit. We took the back seat and we let the management run the show. Now we have a very beautiful, very much more talented management than we are who's running the show.
That's a beautiful compliment. You've hired people who are better than you, but also in a way which is sustainable and makes sense.
I mean, they understand what are the tenets of the company and how we grew the company and how we want this company to continue to grow.
I'll come back to this, but I want to jump back. You coming back to India and trying your hands at multiples. Actually, I think you started out building startups back in US itself. What I see.
Yeah, not worth mentioning.
Not worth. I love this.
Not worth
Because like 4 or 5 years of your LinkedIn is just summed up in various startups.
Yeah, not worth mentioning. There was like
maybe double click for a minute and then we'll jump
Oh
on.
no, I don't even want to get there. I'll tell you the ones which kind of made some sense because others were so like you guys will judge me. That what was I doing?
We are beyond that point now. So, humor us.
I'll tell you the first one which I started in India. So I along with 4 of IIT other friends, we started this company called as India Khelo back in year 2008. Early 2000.
I was really expecting the dating side you will talk about.
Sorry, which one?
The dating side that you played.
Dating was in 2017. It has a Draper connection by the way.
Yeah?
It has a Draper connection. Yeah. I've lived in Draper University for 2 months in San Francisco.
Elaborate. People are getting a plug here.
What all do you want me to elaborate about? How can I sum up the entire 15 years in the small thing and then elaborate?
I know.
But okay, you pick. Tell me what you want me to elaborate. I'll elaborate that.
I want to
Or audience. Yeah, audience. Which one?
give them the options again.
Which one?
The dating one or the sports one? Sports one. Good
If you
choice.
mean dating one.
Good
right?
choice. Good choice, guys. Thank you. So yeah, me and my friends.
I would love both.
I can talk about it. So me and my friends in year 2008, I wanted to do something for sports. As I said that, I was pretty much a sportsman all throughout my life. So the idea was that the way, Indian parents are very competitive about maths, physics, chemistry, right? How can we make Indian parents competitive about sports and fitness? So we came up with a model where we would generate sports and fitness report card in the schools. So it was basically a software where we would run battery of tests on kids and see them perform the sports,
What
which
kind
is
of tests?
speed, endurance, agility, eye-hand coordination, eye-leg coordination, battery of test, physical test. And then also record whatever sport they play best. And there was a lot of things we had. Vijender Singh, we have Abhinav Bindra, all these people who were also on the board of the company. We actually got very good. The board and the entire advisory seats and all were taken with. So yes, me and my friends, we would just go around the school and tell them that we have India Khelo Shuru Kari hai, and you guys can use this sports and fitness report card. You can subscribe for it. Invariably, most of the time, the response which I got from the school was, why you guys doing this? Why you guys are from IIT? Why don't you teach maths to our students? And it was such a hard sale. I must have visited at least 500 schools. I can tell you the hardest thing I've ever done in my life is this. For 1 year, hardest sale ever. We finally got about 30-40 odd school. The company started breaking even, or most of the international schools, right? So we had 5-6 schools in Bangalore, 3-4 in Delhi. And then one, indecent proposal came our way, and the team
Indecent. Okay.
So basically, somehow the King of Jordan got to know about it. So it was again bootstrap, never raised capital. Nobody gave us money. Forget about never raised capital. So
Welcome to the sports realities of India.
no one gave us money. So King of Jordan, he got to know about it. That there is a sports and fitness software. We got highly publicized by the media. Okay, 5 IITians doing something in sports. You guys can understand the story, right? We got pretty popular in the media. If you search India Khelo Prashant Peti, many articles will come. So he read one of those articles, and he sent this team. So he's basically the King of Jordan, and there are 300 schools in Jordan. So he wanted to see if he could basically use the software for Jordan, right? So guess what? He sends his people. And along with that, one Hukum ka ek guy ya phir Begum, his wife, Queen Raina, the most gorgeous woman on the planet Earth, to negotiate with us on the deal. अब
I
भैया
like where this is going.
सीरीज के हम IIT से निकले हुए लुखे लड़के पांच, and then there's this most beautiful woman out there telling us that why don't we just buy your company? And we're like, yeah. ठीक है. What do you want? What else you want? So they actually did buy a company, and we got a decent cash out. And by the way, India Khelo is not running in India, but it is running in Jordan by the name of Fitness Air even till today.
क्या खेला है?
ओ हमारा खेला गया.
96
हमारे साथ खेला गया. बाद में जाएगा ये राइना को क्यों भेजा इन्होंने? Why did this happen?
Interesting. How much did you sell it for?
50 lakh. Nothing.
50 lakh rupees, dirhams.
Rupee, right? 50 lakh.
Was that the first success?
I don't know. This was not a success. This was a failure. This was a failure. Oh, for sure. I mean, the kind of effort we put in, the kind of expectation we had, this was like literally running towards the wall and getting your face smashed to us. We were like, that is why we sold it, right? Because, of course, not Queen Diamond. Don't assume that.
So you were like happy selling it, you were like, take my headache.
It was like the team was assembling, right? Was not going anywhere. 40 school, our ARR was about 1 crore at that moment, barely breaking even. And the team was like, किसी को GMAT करना है, किसी को stop करनी है because it's not paying. None of us were taking salaries. So the team was integrating clearly, and We knew that in India, I mean, if I start India Kilo even till today, I don't think so it's the right time. I think it was so far ahead that even now it is not the right time for India. And rightly so, it was very wrong on us to identify that as a market, because India is a growing GDP. At this moment, we want to take care of our food first. The sports, fitness, and all these things will come and probably be at $10,000 GDP. That's my observation now.
Yeah.
Let's
Talk about the dating.
Yeah. Okay, so
See, that laughter was genuine, huh?
it wasn't actually. It didn't
It's
start
like that
as a,
song.
It didn't
"Dil mein
start.
haan hai, dil mein haan hai."
It didn't start as a dating thing. So, how many of you guys are aware about Facebook chatbot platform? There was a chatbot platform in Facebook started in year 2015. So, EaseMyTrip has always been bootstrapped, right? So, hence we never had any investor telling us what can we do and what we cannot do. We three of us have had 6, 7 companies which we have experimented with. So, Facebook opened up.
Sorry, we three.
Me and my two younger brothers.
Okay.
Yeah, we have had multiple. I mean,
What was it that water in your house that?
So right now I have a beer company as well. Me and Bacha, we are partners in a beer company. Then we have a construction company. Then we have a movie production
But
house.
now it's like एक बार पैसा बन गया, you can like spread out. But before that,
Well, before that
Getting
it was
the
mostly an experiment which didn't work out. For example, I mean, you find 4 people from EaseMyTrip and ask them to make a chat. That's not costly. So we always used to experiment. So, and I'll tell you the best times to experiment. The best times to experiment are whenever there is a new infrastructure which is getting created. Every time a new infrastructure gets created, please experiment on that. For example, blockchain, right? Blockchain happened and so many people experimented and a lot of people made money. A lot of people did fishy things as well with that. But a new infrastructure got created. For example, right now a new infrastructure getting created is, for example, quantum computing. Quantum computing is coming, and it's coming really fast. I'm not talking about AI, I'm talking about quantum computing. It's a new infrastructure. For example, recently the entire genome got decoded, right, in year 2019. New infrastructure is created. Create something on top of it. That is what I mean. Whenever there's a new infrastructure created, I mean, if you try to make an app right now, what else has not been made already, right? It's not a new infrastructure, it's an old infrastructure. So find new infrastructures which are getting created, and new infrastructures are getting created every year. So I have experimented a lot on new infrastructures. For example, the dating one which he's talking about is called as Near Group. The new infrastructure got created in year 2015. That was Facebook started a chatbot developer program. And I had an idea on how to utilize it. And I created a chatbot called as Near Group. The chatbot, what it would do is, it would basically simply find somebody nearby you on the basis of your location. And it's a chatbot, you're chatting to a chatbot, right? But what this chatbot, and there was no AI or, the kind of AI which we have these days, there was no AI at that time. So this is what we did. You tell us what all your preferences are. And on the basis of preferences, it will connect you with another person who's nearby you. And you both can chat. So if you send hi, the chatbot will send hi to that person. And if that person sends hello, the chatbot will send hello to this person. And if any one of you type end, the chat will disconnect and you can find a new person. This is how we created this chatbot. And it just got so big in a matter of few days that we got almost about 30,000-40,000 people signing up every day on that particular chatbot. And people discovered it, people in Facebook understood it, that somebody has created something like this. And in fact, in Facebook's F8 program, F8, right? Facebook runs a conference called as F8. In that conference, in year 2016, they even mentioned that among 250,000 chatbots, which were there on Facebook at that time, 250k chatbots, Near Group alone consumed 1/4 of the entire bandwidth of Facebook. We were sending and receiving 2 billion messages a day. It got that bigger. It just got crazy, and then we realized that people only wanted to use it for dating purposes. So let it be. So we changed the name to Profoundly, and it kept getting bigger and bigger. We had, if any one of you ever goes to Philippines, you will realize that people still hate me over there for shutting Near Group down, because almost 70% of entire Philippines was using Near Group. US it started getting really big, and then is when something happened, which was I got a call from Facebook. When things were getting bigger in other parts of the world, they didn't care enough. But when it started getting bigger in the US, I got a call from the Facebook, and almost 10 people. There were almost 10 people on the other side, telling me how great of a product we have created, this, that. Don't worry about the server cost. So the reason why I was at Draper University, they supported me in the entire process.
Support has been invested?
No, there was no investment. It was support. I know Tim Draper. He knows about Nero. He was an advisor for Nero. For a few months, he was an advisor for Nero. So Facebook told us that don't worry, your server cost will be taken care of. Facebook will pay for it. What you have created is wonderful. Your retention rate, peak point retention rate is above 49%. This, that. They had all the access because it was developed on their platform. They had all the access. And oh my God, that night we partied. We partied crazy that night, knowingly that we have made it, right? Like now we are killing the world. It's happening in the US. It has become a really big thing that Facebook people are calling us and telling us don't worry about the server cost. We'll take care of it. This, that. We got 62 million people who subscribed. 62 million people worldwide who use that product. The next day morning I get up, 9 a.m. The servers are down. Everything is shut. And we are emailing Facebook what happened. There's like one line response that it was getting too many negative reviews. Sorry, we cannot enable it again. Next day, just the next day, 9 a.m. morning, and we were busy partying the whole night. Assuming that life तो सेट हो गई अब तो लाइफ सेट हो गई कि Facebook जो प्रिंसिपल है वो भी कह रहा है कि चिंता मत करो बस बताओ हमें क्या क्या किया था तुमने what all did you do tell us at night I told them everything and then in that particular effort their biggest release search was secret messages which was exactly word to word copy of what we did word to word copy this story is not told to the world
Yeah.
This is how things.
That's why you don't open up about the US. Okay. That's the challenge. It just reminded me of this line: if you sleep on a win, you wake up with a loss.
Yeah. I mean, so basically, if you develop something on someone else's platform, and it's very hard to not to. I mean, if you're making an app, you're developing on Android, right? So it's very hard to not to develop something on someone's platform. This was my usual. Everybody would tell me that. Don't work with Facebook. Facebook will fuck you up badly. Everybody told me, including Tim Draper, everybody told me that you need to move out, you need to develop your own app, don't do it on Facebook. And my defense every time was that even if I develop an app, I'm still dependent on Google. This is how I used to defend them by telling to the world. And then later on it beat me back.
That's the challenge. Building on a platform, you end up having to dance around it. Did you get any sort of? No, I'm just like sad.
No, don't be sad.
Did you get any monetary anything out of it?
No. I
can expand. And if there is a problem of ambition for 9 lakh loan, right? If there is a problem for ambition or risk capital,
so there is working capital as well. There is a working capital requirement, other requirement as well. But I actually got your question. The way I am differentiating this again is. The way EasyMyTrip started as a travel agency and became an online travel agency, I'm using the same principle. I'm actually opening up branches. We have opened up 7 branches. So I'm creating a very solid NBFC first and then FinTech on top of it. I will do digital lending, but I'm not starting with digital lending. I'm starting with an NBFC opening up branches in rural parts of India where we are able to understand people better, where I am able to go and interact with the customer and understand their pain points and then go on about this.
Hi, my name is Alok. I have a similar question like you mentioned a guy earning 4 lakhs per month. Like, why is it like saving money is a real wealth man? Like, being wealthy is really a saving money. Like, for my case, if I'll invest into if I'll purchase a real estate, that will be an investment for me instead of going at just taking a rent house and living for it.
Sorry, I didn't get your question. I mean, are you telling your perspective versus his perspective? I can't answer that.
No, I'm telling like, who really saving money is making you wealthy? That guy is not purchasing his house. Being like
You're asking a very philosophical question, and my philosophy might be different than yours. You're using what actually makes you wealthy. Does wealth make you wealthy? Does health make you wealthy?
or does buying stuff makes you wealthy? Is that the question?
No, you have given me the example of the guy who's earning 4 lakhs per month and
All of them are not like that. This is an exception.
yeah,
but yes.
still living in a rented house. For me, if I buy a real estate, that will be an investment for me in the future term. So why would that example or why is
Why are
that?
they borrowing from you when they have 4 lakhs?
Oh, well, firstly, it's only 7-8 months old business he started and he is scaling it up. Right now he's gotten over there. It's not that he has a generational wealth and he has saved a lot of money. And right now he wants to move to a proper factory setup where he wants to put up a factory, he already has orders and he wants to buy 5-6 such machines. So that is why he's looking to take over.
Yeah.
Prashant, Tanush this side. So I have a very cliche question, but it will be good for us to get in your experience. If you had to start Ease My Trip again, so that old Prashant had set of experiences, now you have set of experiences. So with this new set of experiences, how would you start it, or what are the mistakes that you won't do? That you have?
I won't start it at this moment. I definitely would not start at this moment. It's too late of a market now. In fact, it was late then as well. But I'll tell you one big difference which has come about since then till now. The cost of advertisement has skyrocketed, right? Back in those days, you can still show some advertisement on Google. Google, I believe the initial, I'm trying to jog my memory right now, the CTA, click-through, the cost of acquisition was somewhere around 50-60 rupees. Now it is almost about 1,000 rupees, especially for flight tickets and all. So now it's just the money in the drain. So this is not the right industry to start, for sure.
Aman here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So my question was about your current venture, right? So you're lending to people who the banks are not catering. So the government is also building a platform called Token.
Yeah, I'm working with them.
Okay, that is something that helps you, or that is something that competes?
No, it helps. Open needs people like us who are willing to take bet on such people. Open is just a platform. They need people like us who will lend money to them. So it's not competing.
Hi, my name is Saurabh. I want to know what are some of the things which you did in Ease My Trip which helped you to, which gave advantage to you over your competitors, even when you were bootstrapped.
As I said that, knowing what your real soul of the business is. And for example, good question, I'll double down a little bit more about when I say good customer service, what do I mean by it? Right? That's a good question. It could be a very easy lip service as well, just for the sake of saying it. But since we did grow by 15 lakh rupees capital, we must have done something pretty differently. Since everybody has had more than $100 million and we grew by 15 lakh rupees. So what was the difference? The difference came in about, for example, since we were a travel agent ourselves, we created hundreds of SOPs. The CRM which we use is not Zoho's or Freshdesk. It's our own created CRM called as Easy Office. We created this CRM because we built it apt for how a travel agency would use it. The CRM itself is basically created by us, and in this CRM there are hundreds of buttons, SOPs, buttons, whatever you call it. Which example should I give? I'll give one example which I give often. For example, when you want to cancel your flight for whatever reasons, you broke your leg, right? And you want to cancel your flight. Now when you try to cancel your flight, I am dependent on getting money from the airlines. And 99% of the time I will not get money. And hence I will not able to give you money. This is how they make money, airlines. This is their business model. Cancellation is, non-refundable tickets is a big part of their business model. So hence, you will call us and we will have to say no to you. Now there are two ways to say no. If it is outsourced, we'll say sorry, can't help it, thank you so much. Phone call, right? The way we said it, sorry bro, can't help it right now, but don't worry, you're not alone. You're not the only person with whose this thing is happening. Let me do one thing, let me write an email to the airline while CCing you and see if we can get money back. And he clicks a button, on the click of a button, an automatic email goes to the airline while CCing you. So this way you know that at least we are trying to be helpful. At least we have passed the ball, that this is the problem of an airline, not my own problem. And plus, sometimes customers, being persistent as they are, they actually get money from the airline. They keep writing emails to the airlines multiple times, airline le bhai tu paisa le ja.
Hello, Jeet this side. I want to ask something out of the context here. Let's say,
yeah, hi, I'm Jen. So previously I worked on the same airline ticketing platform. So and also one time I saw the news like Ease My Trip is surpassing the total volume crossing Make My Trip like that.
No.
No, I want so.
I wish.
Yeah, my question is like, Easymat will make my trip. The flight ticket price is the same, right? So how do you get profitable? Like you cannot sell it at more price.
So the beauty of Easymat Trip is not how much we make, but how much we spend. That's the beauty. Airlines give us commission, plus you charge convenience fees. All the others are charging convenience fees. In last 2-3 quarters, we have also started charging convenience fees. Listed होने के बाद में कुछ आ जाती है obligations. So, but what has happened? Our net gross margin is about 8%, while my competitors earn about 11%. So I'm not saying that I make more money. I make only 8%, they make about 11%, but I spend 5%, they spend 13%. This is how we will do.
We couldn't talk about frugality, but maybe on the podcast.
It's about podcast, huh?
I've been following up with him for 2.5 years on the podcast now.
So I had a question that you started multiple businesses and you said that you had gone through multiple failures in your different businesses. So what made you come back every time and start a new one? Except your brothers, because they were of course also in the same business and they were also trying to create their own business.
As I said that I always had a very strong belief in myself. I think you probably came in late. We did discuss this.
I'm Arav. I had a quick question. So, ideally you said, right, the lending company you're working on right now, ideally these people don't get loans because they don't have money in the bank, they usually use cash. So how does the deployment occur as of now?
It has to be by banking. They will have to change their habits. I can't go around and give cash. But that's for a
My name is Vaishnavi, and I wanted to ask, as you mentioned about like social community and networking apps, if like their first approach to like reach the market is towards marketing costs, like they should you should not work on that particular startup. So like, what's the way to like reach the market?
I'll tell you one very important metric. If for any social app, okay, for any social app, there is only one metric which matters, which is your DAU divided by MAU. If that percentage is above 40%, you're sorted. DAU, and I'll double down a little bit more about it, but DAU by MAU for any social product. WhatsApp, DAU by MAU. DAU is daily user divided by monthly user. Now, you do use WhatsApp regularly, right? So DAU by MAU for WhatsApp probably will be about 85-90%. And if you're using it today, if you're using it in a month, you're probably using it every day. So that is what any social app, be it Instagram, be it WhatsApp, if an app has that kind of number, it has hit the jackpot. So DAU by MAU is the only number which matters. And instead of spending money on marketing, I would tell you to focus on one particular North Star. Each industry has a North Star. For this industry, this is the North Star. Go for this KPI, kill that KPI, get that number, and then you will have enough people who will be ready to back you to seed one way or the other.